Hey everybody, just doing a review for this GECENinov, I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not too sure. And just taking a look at the box for this 67 watt wall charger. Nothing at the front. Over the back, it just gives you the specifications. And so this is a gallium nitride charger, that GAN technology that's able to make the charger small and still output tons of charging power. And so what you get in the box is the charger, of course, a Type-C to Type-C charging cable. Just taking a look at the charger itself right over here, it does have about a 2.5 by 1 by 1 inch form factor, and it just weighs a few ounces, so you're not going to be having any trouble taking it anywhere that you want to. Just taking a look at the ports right over here, it does give you 2 Type-C ports and 1 Type-A port, and it does have a foldable plug over on this side right over here. In case you're wondering, this is the Type-C to Type-C charging cable included in the box with the charger as well. And overall a pretty simple charger. Just taking a look at the specifications right over here. As you can see, if you're charging from C1 or C2 with one device charging at a time, you're able to use the full 67 watts of power delivery. And if you're charging a single device from the Type-A port, you're able to use 22.5 watts. But if you're charging from C1 and C2 at the same time, there's going to be a 45 watt and 20 watt split of power. And just taking a look, when you're charging 3 devices at the same time, C1 will output 45 watts, while the C2 and the Type-A port will output 10 watts. So overall, nothing too grandiose about this charger in terms of charging power. It seems to be, a pretty capable charger at least. And so let me just go ahead and start testing it out. All right, guys, so just back with the GECENinov 67 watt wall charger. And so right over here with this test, I'm going to be charging my Ugreen power bank via the C1 port on the charger to see if I'm actually able to use the full 67 watts of power delivery. And so the max input power for this Ugreen power bank from its C1 port at least is 65 watts. So I should be able to get the full 65 watts in this case. We're just about there. I mean, I'm using about 60 watts right there. Max output from C1, since I'm only charging a single device right now, should be about 67 watts. It comes close, but yeah, that's testing for C1 right there. Let me go ahead and charge the power bank from C2 via the wall charger, see what happens. And I'm getting about 60 watts, same as the C1 port. So yeah, I would say the 2 Type-C ports on this wall charger are practically the same when you're charging a single device at a time. And let me go ahead and start some dual charging testing as well. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so just back doing some dual charging testing. In this case, I do have my Ugreen power bank charging from the C1 port. I'm currently getting about a 43 watt recharge speed. And I'm recharging my base's power bank from the C2 port, and that's getting about a 20 watt recharge speed. And so just taking a look at the specifications over at the back of the packaging, this fits into what the specification says this charger is able to do. Let me just go ahead and plug in my Galaxy Note 9 to the Type-A port over the bottom of the charger. And so what should happen is that the base's power bank and my Note 9 should just charge at about 10 watts. I'm not too sure if the base's power bank will even charge, because I think 10 watts is just too low of a recharge speed for the power bank to actually charge with, because I think I've had that problem in the past with other wall chargers. But I'm going to go ahead and check it out. I'm going to be right back. All right, so yeah, I have my Lenovo laptop charging at 35 watts right over there, and I have my base's power bank charging from the C2 port at about 20 watts, and my Note 9 is not able to charge from the Type-A port. I don't know why. I guess the charger considers there not to be enough power to actually charge my Note 9 at the moment. But yeah, I think this might be a device specific issue because I have the power bank charging. I'm going to go ahead and get my LG G7 to charge from the Type-A port, and I'm going to charge my Note 9 to charge from the C2 port to see if I can at least charge my Lenovo laptop from the C1 port and charge 2 phones at the same time from these 2 bottom ports right over here, the C2 and the Type-A port. Alright you guys, so just back with the GECENinov charger. And so in this case, I do have my Lenovo laptop continuing to charge at about 35 watts from the C1 port over at the top. And I do have my 2 phones charging from the charger as well. So I have my Note 9 plugged into the C2 port right over here in the middle. And I have my LG G7 charging from the Type-A port over the bottom of the charger right over here. And so yeah, I am able to charge these two phones while charging my Lenovo laptop. And so with the trouble with the Basis power bank charging from the C2 port, and my Note 9 not being able to charge from the Type A port, I guess it would be a device specific issue that you would run into, because this isn't the first time that I ran into the problem with a power bank charging and another port not being able to charge my Note 9. This happened with a few other chargers that I've reviewed. So yeah, I mean, it's just something that you have to be careful with when it comes to power banks. Just keep an eye on whether you have a power bank charging from C2 and you have a phone charging from the Type A port, because the phone that you have plugged into the Type A port may not be able to charge simply because the C2 port is pulling too much power. But in this case, with these two phones charging, I am able to charge my Note 9 at about 10 watts right now. It's not fast charging because the C2 and the Type A port are currently outputting 10 watts each. So yeah, I have 10 watts going into my Note 9, and I do have my LG G7 slow charging, which is 10 watts over here as well. But the good news is that my Lenovo laptop is charging at 35 watts. So you are able to charge a Type-C chargeable laptop at the same time while charging another two phones. I will have a link to the product page down in the description below for this charger, as well as a link to the review article over at chargerharbor.com. And I will see you all on the next video. All right, goodbye.